weight for years on the international stage, and I think that a professional league it's inevitable here. We've got an amazing bunch of talent here in this country, and hopefully we can attract some overseas once everybody starts travelling. And I think particularly now we've seen obviously the COVID cancellation 3 times. We've seen loss of 2 nationals in the last 12 months, and repeated postponements of the Women's Baseball World Cup, and everyone's just itching for baseball, and I think the Women's Baseball League is just primed when it starts.
And Benno, quickly for you, obviously a father of 2 daughters, a South Australian sporting legend. What does it mean to be able to have an event like this in South Australia at Bennett Field?
Oh, it's huge. What we're looking for is, my girls are here today. They wanted to come. They hit me up last night. Dad, we're coming. You better get tickets for us. And they're in the stands. They're excited. It's a massive thing. It's a league of their own, and we want this thing to work. We want to get it up and running.
Adelaide Giants being introduced on the field, and we will have a look at their starting lineup. It's a team that is made up of only 3 South Australian players, plenty from New South Wales and Victoria, but a formidable side. As we'll take a look at the starters for Adelaide, Amy.
Yeah, look, I think Adelaide Giants, I think you can't look past 2 names there in Shea Lillywhite and Tani Lovering, 2 of the absolute legends in world baseball, not just Australian baseball, and I think they are going to provide an amazing amount of leadership for all of the junior players. But I've got a bit of an asterisk next to Takara Helden-Ays, who I'm looking forward to seeing her tear up the base paths today.
And on the other side, the Brisbane Bandits, another one of those teams with not a heap of Queensland players, but certainly plenty of talent to boot as well.
Oh, yes. Look, I don't know where to look in this lineup, but I think amazing the bookends of Morgan Doty and Bronwyn Gell, the speed and experience at the top and the bottom of the lineup. And I think Abby McClellan, batting cleanup, I think she's probably got the sights over on the hills over there. I think we're going to see her potentially clear that fence, hopefully.
Yeah, before we get started, the Australian baseball community, and particularly the women's baseball community, lost a good friend in Jacinta Barclay earlier this year. We'll send it downfield for Shane Tonkin.
Welcome out here to West Beach Park. What a fantastic day for this inaugural Women's Showcase. Thank you for coming out. We have 4 games of baseball in 2 days, live on Fox. We appreciate the support we have from them and our corporate partners. A tribute for Jacinta Barclay. A West Australian, but loved by all. Jacinta played a variety of sports at the top level, but fondly remembered by the ladies out here today and also around the country for the sport of baseball, which we all love. On behalf of the Board of Baseball Australia, the CEO, and of course the baseball community around Australia and also the world who knew Jacinta, can I please have you upstanding for a moment's silence in remembering one of our great friends. Thank you.
And now, please remain upstanding as we welcome Abby Rice to the field for the singing of the Australian National Anthem.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are one and free. We've golden soil and wealth for toil. Our home is girt by sea. Our lands abound in nature's gifts of beauty, rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains, and let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Well, certainly emotional moments pregame. Amy, I know you knew Jacinta Barclay very well. She certainly would be playing in an event like this as one of the best baseballers this country has ever seen. I know you spoke to Laura Deeds, who will be the starting pitcher for Brisbane. One of the best friends in the world that Jacinta had, and she'll certainly be pitching with a heavy heart this afternoon.
Yeah, look, I think it's impossible to sum up a person that meant so much to everyone she met, whether it was on a sporting field or just in life in general. She was determined, fearless, passionate. She championed women's sport, and I think that she would have loved, would have been in her element out here today. And I know that there's a lot of us, particularly Lulu, who was so close to her. They're going to have heavy hearts.
Yeah.
But she had time for everybody. There's not a player out there that wasn't influenced, wasn't inspired, wasn't in some way shaped by Jacinda Barclay. So every single player is going to have her in their hearts out there today.
Yeah, certainly is one of those players that when you hear people speak, always have something good and some things good to say about Jacinda Barclay, certainly taken far too soon from us in 2020. Well, the Adelaide Giants, they have taken the field. Abby Kelly is getting the start for them atop the mound. The right-hander, 22 years of age, out of Victoria, represents Essendon in club baseball. She is a young, up-and-coming right-hander, Amy. She'll be fun to watch this afternoon.
She will. I mean, anyone that knows Abby Kelly and knows Australian women's baseball cannot forget 2016 World Cup in a must-win game. She absolutely shut down the powerhouse USA, got us through to the next Super Round, kicked out the USA to the Super Round, which is always nice to see. Shout out to my US friends there. But, yeah, look, Abby Kelly, I've faced her, I've played with her, I've played against her, and she's got everything. And she's gonna mix it up. She's gonna put the rhythm off and upset the timing of the batters today, and that's what it's all about.
I say young, up and coming. She is 22 years of age, but she's been around the traps for quite some time, right? She was 17, 18 years old in that 2016 World Cup when she was going toe-to-toe with the United States.
Look, she was, and I caught up with her in the dugout just before the game, and I actually said that to herself, "You're one of the old ladies out there now, Ab," and she goes, "It's okay, I still look youthful." And I think you get up, and she's got this grin on her face, and you're up there to bat, and you see it, and you just, and then she just throws that nasty slider past you, and you don't have a smile going back to the dugout. And she is a competitor, and it's a good decision. I like this starting the first game here from Adelaide, going hard.
We will get to see plenty of members, both past, present, and future of the Australian Emeralds, that being the Australian women's baseball team. They haven't been together as a club and since 2018. 2020 obviously was meant to be a World Cup year, but COVID put the dampener on that, and we are just about ready for the first pitch of the Australian Women's Baseball Showcase. Morgan Doty, the right-hander, stands in for Brisbane. Abby Kelly gets her sign, and we are underway in Adelaide. An off-speed pitch that is just high for ball one. That's Fiona Lambrick that is calling balls and strikes in game one this afternoon. It'll be Morgan Doty, Elodie O'Sullivan, and Taylor Welch. The three due-ups for Brisbane. It's the 1-0 pitch. That one catches the outer part of the plate. Count even.
Absolutely. What we're looking for now, we want early strikes ahead. Get ahead of the hitters, keep them off balance, and then use your breaking balls to put them away.
Doty, 28 years of age. Victorian native playing for Brisbane. This one's sharply hit on the ground. What a backhand there by Tabret. The throw across the diamond in time. Got him. What a way to start.
Oh, how's that for a play? Straight off. First play of the game. An absolute cracker at third base there. I mean, you could not have had a script better than that.
I tell you what, and that is not bad coming from someone. We see there, Maddie Patrick stretches across the side and makes that long throw. And I think about Maddie Patrick. She's played 3 World Cups as a pitcher, as a sidearm pitcher.
It was an unbelievable play from Tabret. Playing deep over at third base. So here's Elodie O'Sullivan with one away. Right down central, and the first to the right-handed swinger. Nothing in one. O'Sullivan, a native of New South Wales. Also a member of that 2018 World Cup squad that went to Florida a few years ago. The next from Kelly. This one tapped foul behind home plate. Quickly, no balls and 2 strikes. And I'll finish the thought of the World Cup. Again, it was supposed to be 2020 in Tijuana, Mexico. That, just like this women's showcase, it seems, keeps getting postponed time and time again. That one has been postponed 3 times. Originally supposed to take place in September of last year. The 0-2. Good pitch on the inner part of the play. That's a heck of a pitch from Kelly, and 0-2, but doesn't get the call.
Yeah, but what a great what a great off-speed pitch right there. Just running back in on the right-handed hitter now. Now opens up the whole play. We can go in, we can go back away.
1-2 from Kelly. Sullivan just spoils this away foul off toward the right side. Another 1-2 pitch coming from Abby Kelly. Blocked well in the dirt by Lovering behind home plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
But what a good pitch, though. I mean, we're looking at balls away. We're looking up and down, in and out in the strike zone. So Kelly's pitching really well, getting ahead in the count, and that's what we want. Get the nerves out of the way. Wants to get, she wants to get back in the dugout and let the hitters do their thing.
Sullivan staying alive. A 2-2 off speed. Another opportunity for Tabret. Boy, how good is she? At the hot corner, 2 chances, 2 pretty slick plays, and just like that, there's 2 away in the first.
Look, I spent my entire career in one position, and I struggled just making sure I was good at one position. We've got someone that represents Australia on the mound, and you look at the range. I mean, she's gone to her right. She now goes to her left. She comes up and fires that ball as a strike. Doesn't do too much with it, and we're quick as that, 2 down.
Tabret has played in 3 different World Cups, and that's only because she missed 2016 when she was pregnant with her firstborn.
Yeah, and I know that Bailey is at home watching with her husband Scott in Sydney. So shout out to Bailey, and your mum started pretty well there.
I suppose if you're going to have a reason to miss a World Cup, that's it.
I think that's a pretty good World Cup. That's a pretty good reason.
Here's Taylor Welch hitting now with 2 away. First pitch was off the plate for a ball. The next from Kelly. This one off toward the third base side, but foul.
I'm keen to see Taylor Welch out here today. She's established herself now as one of the veterans, one of the leaders in the Australian squad, and she's got that power bat. We saw she led the Australian team in hits, RBIs, doubles, put one out at the World Cup, and I think we're going to see some big things from her this weekend.
Hit a lazy 517 at the 2018 World Cup. Video game stuff. An off-speed pitch from Kelly. We had her out in front.
What a great pitch right there. I mean, if you look at where that ball started to where it ended, and it's just a fantastic pitch, ending up nearly in the dirt, it's a really tough one right there. The 12-6 curveball was executed perfectly.
Threw it again, got her out in front. Welch strikes out. What a start for Abby Kelly. A couple of good defensive plays at third, punctuated by his strikeout. Let's go to the home half of the first. Brisbane nothing, Adelaide coming up in Game 1 of the Australian Women's Baseball Showcase, presented by Valo. Getting set for the home half of the first inning. And don't forget, you can help dreams come true by donating to aleagueofherown.com.au. Your donation's 100% tax deductible within Australia, and it'll go toward helping to launch a professional women's baseball league. Again, that's aleagueofherown.com.au. Donate today, and let's make dreams come true. Takara Geldenace will lead things off for the Adelaide Giants as she takes high and inside. Lauren Needs, who we spoke about, Amy, at the top of the broadcast, getting the start atop the mound for Brisbane.
Yeah, look, big game pitcher. She got the ball in our World Cup gold medal game. And, yeah, look, this...
Ball hard hit into center field. First in, and now back Morgan Doty. She got adventurous first couple of steps in, but all's well that ends well. Makes the catch one away.
Yeah, no, as I was saying, she's Laura Needs has been around. She's done six World Cups. She's aiming for a 7th, and as I said, she came on the mound in our sensational win against Japan back in 2010, and she's someone who does not, if you up you down, she does not show anything to you as a hitter. So
she was reliever of the tournament in Australia's silver medal winning 2010 World Cup. Shea Lillywhite takes the first high and inside, and it's a World Cup that holds a lot of significance for many different reasons, which I'm sure we'll get into over the course of the next 2 days. 4 games to be played here in Adelaide over the next 2 days as Lillywhite pops this one up on the infield. It's toward Bronwyn Gell, and she'll again come in, then back out. Bronny makes the catch, and Laura Needs has retired the first 2 that she's faced.
Yeah, I think Lillywhite, Needs, Gell. You've got 3 of the best names in women's baseball in Australia there, and it's an amazing opportunity for so many. We've got 11 teenagers out here this weekend, and you've got those calibre of names out in the field standing next to them, but they can't help but just be motivated and inspired and learn from them.
So here's Kayla Borga Maestro, one of 2 Western Australians playing in the Women's Showcase this weekend. Been a WA representative since 2010. He's won a couple of national titles, as a matter of fact, as a member of that WA team. And she takes this one high, and it's quickly 2 balls, no strikes.
The one thing I need to start seeing soon from Needs right now, Reynolds, is she's got to get the ball down. The first couple of pitches to the first 2 batters now has always been up, needs to make an adjustment early.
2-0, right on cue. Well located on the outer part of the plate, 2 balls and a strike.
That's a perfect pitcher's pitch right there. You could live on that corner all day of the year, I'm telling you.
Hard hit ball from Geldenace at the beginning of the inning. On a pitch that was up. Back-to-back pitches low in the zone, gets the call here, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, it was a nice breaking ball on that pitch, just kept the hitter off balance, and that's what we want to do. Now that opens up the plate, whether you want to go fast in or off-speed away, you can do either or.
Needs trying to work a 1-2-3 inning, just as Kelly did. 2-2 is hit into right field. It is slicing, going over to get it is Patrick. Did she make the catch? Of course she did. Off the shoe tops in right field, an excellent running catch to end the inning. And just as the Bandits did, the Giants go 1-2-3 in the first. Let's head to the second inning. 0-0 in Adelaide.
Yeah, look, it's not just we've talked about all the World Cup players, state players out there, but you've got Maddie Patrick, who she's not in the squad yet. But she's come from the Springvale Baseball Club has produced Shea Lillywhite, obviously one of them. Yeah. It's one of those grassroots clubs that's doing fantastic things for women's baseball.
It's really good defensive plays. Of course, the play to begin the ball game from Tabret over at third base was bananas. And Maddie Patrick picking up her pitcher to end the first inning. So Abby McClellan leading things off for Brisbane in the top half of inning number 2. If you're just joining us, Andrew Reynolds alongside Amy Mccann and Shane Bennett, 2 very esteemed colleagues of mine, a couple of silver medal winners. Off speed pitch to the next to McClellan, misses low, 2 balls and no strikes.
Well, I love this matchup, Abby and Abby. We've got the 2 Abbies going against each other, know each other very well, having played against each other in the State League and also for Victoria. And this is a battle within a battle here.
2-0 pitch, missing low and away. Now 3 balls and no strikes on McClellan with Madison Heath awaiting on deck. These will be 5-inning ball games. Each team will have a power play that they can use once a game. That'll be runners at first and second base to begin an inning. 3-0 get me over fastball there from Abby Kelly, and it's 3 balls and a strike. McClellan had herself a great World Cup 2 years ago as well, 3 years ago now. This one again toward Tabrett. She's like a brick wall over there. A lofty throw from third base. Oh, and it's dropped. Blair O'Sullivan, maybe lulled to sleep by how good the plays have been from Maddie Tabrett, just took her eye off the baseball, and that'll likely be an E3 and give us our first base runner of the ball game.
Yeah, what a great play right here from Tabrett again. Plants, makes an easy throw to first, but unfortunately, O'Sullivan right there just taking just a bit too much of a lackadaisy attitude there and just needs to guarantee the out, especially when you're not throwing strikes. Kelly on the mound needs to get ahead of these hitters.
Runner aboard at first. Here is Madison Heath. Good pitch to begin the AB from Kelly, 0-1.
Madison Heath, a rising star from New South Wales, a catcher, touted as potential, obviously filling the shoes of Tani Lovering. Tani's got plenty of years left, certainly not retiring her.
What a catcher to learn from, though.
And that's the amazing thing. We've hit that new generation. We've got girls playing with girls, and they're their idols.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. It's just you're standing right next to the girl that got you into the sport.
She's a heck of a young up-and-coming baseball player. She's also a second-year nursing student. She'd be plenty busy, I'd say. It's the 0-1, or the 1-1 rather, missing low.
It was actually quite interesting on the flight this morning. We had a number of the junior girls all on their laptops, and I thought they were going to be tuning into Netflix. No, they were doing their uni studies.
Really good young talent coming through the ranks in Australian women's baseballs. This one's lofted the other way. That'll get down for a base hit. First hit of the afternoon, and it's Madison Heath out of the 5-hole. And the Bandits have something brewing here in the second. Runners at first and second, nobody out.
Well, what a great piece of hitting right there. Taking that pitch up and away to the correct portion of the field, taking the ball to right field, and not trying to do too much with it. As you can see here on the replay, the pitch is up and away, and what a great piece of hitting to right field. That's all you need to do with that pitch. You don't need to try and do anything else.
Followed up by another youngster, and Emily Devine, who's just 18 years of age. A lot of youth in this Brisbane side. Called first pitch strike from Abby Kelly.
Yeah, Abby needs to live down that zone. The higher she goes, she's going to be more susceptible for those, the big boppers in the lineup that's going to really try to take her deep. There's no doubt about it. She needs to keep the ball down and get ahead early.
She'll be looking for a ground ball, and she got it. Tabrett looks at second. She goes there. It's an errant throw. Carly Moore backing up in right field, and good thing. That would have scored a run with ease had Moore not been heads up and right. It's a good job of backing up the play. The bases are now loaded with nobody out.
This is a manager killer right here, especially in a pitcher kill. We got a chance for a double ground ball, double play right here, and Sales at Tabrett throws it out to right field, unfortunately, which potentially gets him out of the inning. Would have just solved the issue from the first mistake in the first hitter. So now Adelaide's in trouble with runners on base. Defensively, let's see what they can do.
Maybe some frustration from Tabrett after she made the play, in essence, to get the first out of the inning. Here, the errant throw puts even more pressure on Abby Kelly. Tell you what, she's pumping first pitch strikes.
Yeah, she's doing well. Just to come back right there and throw that fastball away for a strike is great sign of maturity, not to let the situation get to you.
The 0-1 to Wagner is skied into right field. Moore is over, and it's fair. That'll score at least one. McClellan had to hold up to make sure that it would fall. She is the only one that'll cross the plate. And the Bandits are the first to strike. An RBI base hit from Laura Wagner into right, and it's 1-0 Brisbane.
Yeah, once again, took that pitch away and took it to right field. Exactly what you need to do. You try and pull that ball, that would have been that ground ball double play again. And, what a great play. As you see on the replay, a long fly ball to right field. Great effort right there from the right field, but couldn't quite get there. Well ran on the base pass, too, by the Brisbane team.
So here's Maddie Patrick, who made that shoe-top catch at the end of the last half inning to secure a 1-2-3 frame. And, Amy, it was the youngsters in the middle here, the second and third hitters of the inning, and Heath and Devine that have sort of just kept this line moving and allowed this momentum to happen for Brisbane. This one lofted into right field, and the line will keep on moving. Madison Heath will score from third. It's a wide turn from Devine, and she will stay put at third base. They just keep churning him out, don't they? Now 2-0 Brisbane.
Exactly right. Started off with that. I think it hit well beyond the ears of 20 from Madison Heath there, and that first at-bat here in this situation, it's exciting, and she does exactly what she needed to do for the team and continue through there to Maddie Patrick. But great job by Laura Wagner, one of the veterans of this Australian squad. Really looking for her as well to, as I said, one of those guiding players for the juniors.
All of a sudden, Bronwyn Gell, the 9-hole hitter, is the 6th player to hit in the inning.
Yeah.
I tell you what, Kelly's getting that breaking ball over for a strike, and that's a fantastic pitch. I mean, you got bases loaded, and you're throwing the nice 12-6 breaking ball for a first pitch strike that keeps anyone on their toes.
The 0-1 to Gell, missing just upstairs, 1-1.
I think any lineup when you've got a Bronwyn Gell batting at 9.
I was going to say.
I think that shows the quality of the Australian women's squad at the moment. I mean, you could easily put her at the top. You put her at the bottom. Where does Abby Kelly rest?
Well, plenty of speed, I think, for Lisa Norrie at sort of the bookend the lineup. You got Bronwyn Gell at 9 and Morgan Doty leading off. Those are two really quick players hitting back-to-back. It's a good pitch.
Yeah, once again, look at that breaking ball. 12-6, buries it in the dirt. It's fantastic. Pitch right there.
1-2 to Gell, went back to the well and is up and over the head of Tabret. It'll score another. Jorge Maestro from shortstop, able to limit any more damage, but the line just keeps on moving. That's now 6 consecutive that have reached base here in the second inning. And Brisbane have played at 3, still nobody out.
And if you look at what Kelly's doing on the mound, she's actually executing pretty well. I mean, apart from probably the base hit to Heath and the second batter up, which was probably the worst pitch she's thrown all game, everyone else has just basically put the ball in play with not much conviction. So a bit of defense has let her down. If we imagine that defense was a bit better right now, she's out of the inning.
She is, and we see the pitching coach heading out to have a chat to them at the moment. As we said before, Tani Lovering out there probably giving some great words of advice to Abby. But as I said, Abby's been around for a while. I would imagine she's got a smile on her face. She's cool, calm. And, look, I think Morgan Doty, with Morgan Doty coming up to bat at the moment, top of the lineup, with only one down.
Just a reminder, beautiful Coffin Bay, as we are in Adelaide. They've been such great hosts for baseball. There was obviously an Australian Baseball League hub that was hosted here just a few months ago, and this event was originally supposed to be part of the Australian Baseball League hub, because of various COVID outbreaks. It took all the way until the 1st of May to be able to have this event, and certainly we are gracious for the state of Adelaide, or the state of South Australia, the city of Adelaide, I should say. It's Morgan Doty hitting for the second time this afternoon. She grounded out to Maddie Tabret to begin the ball game. This one taken off the plate outside, 2-0.
Yeah, big pitch right here. We got 2-0, bases loaded, and Brisbane on the attack. What can Abby Kelly do? Can she find that ground ball double play and help herself out?
Pretty good pitch. Doesn't get the call. 3 balls, no strikes.
I see Takara Heldenay's playing straight away centre there. We've got a lot of room out on the left side for Morgan here. She puts one out that side. We're going to see another couple of runs across the plate.
3-0 pitch. Get me over fastball. Abby Kelly having to throw a lot of pitches here in the second inning.
And it's a fine line. A couple of those ground balls go their way, and she's out of the inning, and she's still battling here. So
3-1 on the ground. That'll be extra bases. It's into the corner. It'll score at least 2. Wagner is in. Here comes Patrick. Gel on her way to third base. They'll hold Bronny up there. It's a 2 RBI double for Morgan Doty. And the Brisbane Bandits have blown things wide open here in the top half of the second inning. It's 5-0.
I tell you what, Brisbane's done well. Watch this great piece of hitting. Once again, Kelly's been punished when the ball's up. I mean, that's what she's got to do. She's got to get that ball down. And even though she got the ground ball, it didn't quite, she's allowing the hitters to really have a good swing at the ball when the ball's up.
Exactly right, and she knows these hitters better than anyone. And when you serve one of those up, certainly with the speed of Morgan Doty, you don't want to be getting anything down the line. She's probably lucky she had a runner in front of her, holding her off 3. And we're back to Elodie. And Elodie, we've got none down. I mean, Elodie's got 2 runners on, and I'm really hoping Abby can, this second time round, can find something special here.
O'Sullivan, a ground out victim back in the first inning. She swings and misses at the first from Kelly.
So what Kelly's got to do right now, I mean, for me, is forget about the runners on base. Let's just worry about every individual hitter. Don't worry about trying to conserve these 2 runs. Just worry about getting 1 out at a time.
0-1, this one lofted into right field. Moore is over, and it's over her head. Gel was held up at third base. She will come home to score. And that'll go for another 2-bagger, this time for Elodie O'Sullivan, and it's now 6-0 Brisbane here in the second.
I'm really, really liking the approach of the batters here from Brisbane. As we said, they're not trying to do too much, and we know that as we take a look at this on the replay, and the ball, bit of pop out there on the grass out in the right centre there, but they're doing enough. They're not trying to overhit it, and we've got some short porches here. The girls are probably used to bigger fields than this, and it's good to see they're not trying to drop that shoulder and put it out. They're trying to score the run. They're trying to put the ball in play.
Seeing a lot of really good pieces of hitting going to that right side from right-handed hitters. The first 8 of the inning have reached base. Here's Taylor Welch. She's the only one that hasn't hit yet. This one's lined toward third. Brett is there to make the catch. And that'll be a sigh of relief for Abby Kelly in the Adelaide defense. Finally one away here in the second inning.
Yeah, once again, that ball's a little bit up, but, the defense made a good play right there. If you watch this replay right here, that ball's up again, and it's a great swing. And, there was potential more problems with there, but, hey, 1 down. Let's look to get another out, and let's preserve this run.
Brett has been quite busy,
A magnet.
I would say, at the hot corner so far today. Here's Abby McClellan. She led off the inning, and this ball's lofted high and deep to left field, but that'll get foul. Ball was crushed.
Yeah, I think she got away with one there with Taylor Welch. But if she leaves one of those, another one of those up to Abby McClellan, we could see it hit that backfield there.
Yeah, I don't think you want to live up there anymore. McClellan 9 for 20 in the World Cup 3 years ago. That included a couple of doubles. The throw behind the runner at second base. He'll get away, but no harm, no foul.
Great play, though, on the defense, right there. That was a chance. Because a lot of the times, you've scored, 5-6 runs, Amy, and you're sort of lollygagging a bit on the base paths and not expecting a pickoff, and the defense can pick up a quick and easy out.
If anyone's going to notice that, it's Shay Lillywhite at second base.
Yeah.
McClellan reached on the error to begin the inning. Good off speed pitch here. Takes a called strike, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, well done by Kelly. Coming back with an 0-2 count, getting that breaking ball over for a strike. She needs to get that out pitch. We want to see soft contact on this pitch.
0-2. Good breaking pitch. Rushed McClellan off the plate slightly, missing just inside, 1-2.
Well, this opens up the plate now. There was a little backup slider on the in half of the plate. Now we can go the slider away. We can go the 12-6, curveball. We go the fastball down.
See where Lovering sets up. Looks like she wants it on the outer part of the plate. Another good off-speed pitch. Runner going. It'll be a stolen base for O'Sullivan as she swipes third base. The count even now, 2 balls and 2 strikes on McClellan.
I like that move there, putting that runner on third base with 1 out with Abby McClellan. It probably takes a little bit out of her shoulders now. She knows she just has to put the ball in play in the outfield. Knocks in another run.
2-2, hard hit right center field. This ball's got a chance. It may go, and it does. Abby McClellan. She just missed a big fly to left field on the first pitch of the AB. Here she goes, Oppo into right center. A 2-run bomb, and it's 9-0 Brisbane.
No, she must have heard me in the pregame. It was interesting. I chatted to her on the plane over here, and she actually, I said, have you heard the porches? And she didn't want to. There's a lot of expectations that are put on her from people. Obviously, she's got a big bat.
You watch that, and what the most impressive part about that home run swing was opposite field. Took the ball was slightly away, and did not try and pull it to the power side. Just went, I'm going to take it where it's going to go. And that's what Brisbane, as you said before, have done all game. They're very, very impressive, very disciplined in keeping everything to right field when the ball's away.
Yeah, I agree. And look, I don't for a moment think that Abby was trying to put it out there. She was trying to put the ball, as you said, see the ball, hit it to the right side, sack fly, and knock that run in.
Well, Craig Handy's hand has been forced for, I guess, to use a pun, and that will be the end of the afternoon for Abby Kelly. Somewhat unlucky, an inning that got away from Adelaide defensively. And as it's 9-0, a pitching change upcoming. We'll step aside momentarily from Adelaide. Back after this, here in the middle of the second inning. Well, 9-0 Brisbane, and this is the exclamation point. Amy Mccann, Abby McClellan going deep into right center, the first home run of the showcase.
Yeah, look, as we said just before the break, I actually don't believe she was trying to hit that out. I know she's looked at these fences, but she's doing that team job. We've just seen that from Brisbane from start to finish there, and I think she was looking for that sack fly. She had Elodie on third. They set that up with a steal, and that's just the power of Abby and the way that we've seen her hitting progress over the last 10 years has been amazing.
What I saw, Amy, was impressive. Like the stance in the batter's box, that you could see the strength, and she knew exactly what her ideas. She had an idea at the plate, and she executed perfectly.
She's an intimidating unit in that box with the sunglasses on. It's like
spectacular.
Yeah.
Getting a look at Belinda Cannington, who is the first pitcher on in relief of Abby Kelly. As we said before the break, a bit unlucky. She got the ground ball to begin the inning. That was the E3, and that just sort of things unraveled from there. But an opportunity now for Cannington, the 26-year-old Victorian right-hander, to come in and clean things up. This one misses inside. 2 balls and no strikes.
Yeah, look, I like seeing Belinda out here today. She's one of the utilities we've got. They've got options to use her all across the field.
Good off-speed pitch that catches the outer part of the plate.
And that's what she's got to do. Cannington's going to come in and just throw strikes. Forget about it, 7-zip down right now. It's a 0-0 ball game as far as she's concerned. This is what she can do in front of the Australian team head coach, Pops, and that's what her job is today.
This one is skied on the infield. Who wants it? Cannington's calling for it, and she can't make the catch. It's such a tough play for a pitcher to make. Oftentimes you'll see the pitcher get out of dodge and try and leave it for third or short. But that ball was hit so high that I think Cannington might have been the only one that saw the baseball.
Well, you know what? As a pitcher, I'm running to the dugout. Someone else can catch it. I'm not going to embarrass myself. But, Cannington's, as you said, Amy, she's a super utility, so she can make those plays.
She is, and I think that's probably what the infield thought. She's a league MVP in Victoria. She plays shortstop with the best of them, and I think they thought she had it. And that's probably some nerves. And she's got that out of the way now, and I think, as you said, she's a big strike pitcher. I think we'll see some good things from her here.
Here's Emily Devine, who reached on the throwing error from Tabret earlier in the inning. That was the throw towards second base that got away. Here she goes the opposite way. Will this stay fair? It's just foul by about a meter or so. That'll leave the count, a ball and a strike.
Yeah, the big thing for me, especially pitching and me being the pitcher, I want to see great defense. If I'm getting that ground ball, make the play. That's what we want at this level. That's the expectation. I would assume that's no different than going to a World Cup. Maybe for you guys and your team, teams you've been on.
It is exactly right. It's as we always talk about. It's that game of inches, and it's interesting. I spent a lot of time playing cricket recently, and you just realise in cricket that one error gives up a run, but in here, one error gives up a run. That's a ball game.
Yeah,
that could be a World Cup. That could be a medal. It's a brutal game. That's why we love it.
More great pitching.
Sorry, Beno.
Sorry, Reynolds. But the great pitching from Cannington, right? To come in and just throw strikes and do what she needs to do. Everything's gone wrong defensively for Adelaide right now, but it's as I said before, it's a 0-0 ball game, and let's get the outs.
3-1 pitch to Devine is taken for a called strike. That'll run the count full 3-2.
And you can't underestimate some of the pressure that the players will be putting on themselves this weekend. It's been a long time between drinks for women's baseballers in this country, and Belinda.
3-2 on the ground. Will that get through? A sliding attempt at short by Maestro, and she can't quite make the play. Second time that Devine has been aboard. Now runners at first and second with one out.
Yeah, as I was saying, look, Belinda's been someone she's been in the Victorian squad for 10 years now. She's one of those veterans. She's still only 27, so she's someone who wants to knock. She wants to push that spot into the Australian team. So hopefully she just takes a couple of breaths out there and just keeps throwing those strikes.
As you can see, the shortstop by Maestro is playing up the center, so if she was playing more in a traditional shortstop position, she probably makes that very routine ground ball play right there at short.
Sort of playing to turn that double play potentially and get out of the inning. Just playing more toward the second base bag, you're right. Another well-placed baseball that time by Devine as here the 1-0 pitch misses upstairs. 2 balls and no strikes.
Yeah, Adelaide had Maestro playing more up the center, trying to keep the runner at second and keep him honest on the base path.
Wagner singled in a run earlier in the inning. This one's skied deep to left field, to the track, to the wall. See ya! 3-run bomb for Laura Wagner.
Wow, that is, look, Laura Wagner is somebody who, she has been around baseball in the Australian squad for 15 years. She has just been unable to break through that Australian team. And look, I think she is the best player that's never played for Australia, and we are hopefully seeing some of her best baseball this weekend.
As you can see right here, not a bad pitch, but the pitch was up, and Wagner is absolutely tattooed it to left center. And there was no doubter off the bat right there. Everyone knew it as soon as it left the infield. What a great piece of hitting, but the strength and the power from Wagner just on show.
2 bombs in the inning for Brisbane. One to right center, the other to left center. And Laura Wagner, an all-around athlete. She's represented Queensland in netball. I believe she's an accountant by trade, so she's quite well-rounded, I would say. A power-hitting righty who's represented her state in netball and is an accountant by trade. Here's a ground ball to shortstop. Maestro, gloves, and the strong throw on to first base. And there's the long-awaited second out of the inning, 2 gone.
I tell you what I love about this Brisbane, this offense here is a little story here, but the Brisbane Bandits, half their team was delayed by about 2 hours. They actually didn't arrive on the field until Adelaide had well and truly finished their BP on the field. So we had half the team still, they had all the uniform, they had the hats, they had everything. So they have left that not even in the dugout, and it's great to see them focus on field.
Maybe that's the secret. There's Bron Magell
Just
for the
get it
second
and play.
time in the inning. Just show up and play, right? I remember, just to sort of say, a short story to bring those two things together. Chris Adamson did that with the Adelaide Giants during the playoffs this year in the ABL. When he thought his team was just too much in their heads. Yep. He said, let's just rock up tomorrow and play baseball. Half an hour before the game started, they were putting their uniforms on, and they went to play, and they won the baseball game. Here's a tough hop to Tabrett going away from the first base bag. That would have been incredible if she could have made the play.
Yeah, that's great to see. Great speed up the line from Bron Magell. I know she's been doing a lot of work recently with Luke Hughes, personal training, and she has developed some, as she's gotten older, her speed up the line has been great.
Yeah, but what a great play, though. I mean, even defensively there, stay behind the ball, good play to first base, but great speed up the line to beat it out. So all-round great baseball.
So here's Morgan Doty. Again, for the second time in the inning. She had that 2 RBI double, part of back-to-back RBI doubles. She and Elodie O'Sullivan earlier this inning.
What this does, though, if you think about it, I mean, we're in tournament play. We're going to play, 4 games in less than basically 24 hours is what we're going to do. So, these girls are going to, every pitch is crucial, and that's why we've got to get early outs as pitchers, help the defense get them in, because playing 4 games in 24 hours is brutal. There's no doubt about it. It's going to be really tough on these athletes.
Talk about having to have a short memory. There's a sharply hit ball towards second. A diving play made there by Lily White, but the throw not in time. Boy, how many times have we seen Shea Lillywhite make plays like that? Unfortunately, just didn't have enough time to get up and make the throw.
And that's, again, the pressure on the base paths by these runners. As we see, that ball, full stretch dive from Shea, comes up. But to beat Morgan Doty, you've got to have that great arm. You've got to have that great play. It is hard to throw these girls out.
Your question is, Amy, does Doty beat you on a speed test, when you're both in your prime? What do you think? I've cornered you there.
Asking the hard-hitting questions on the broadcast this afternoon.
Don't answer it. Don't.
It's a stitch-up.
A straight stitch-up.
I don't think there's any right answer for Amy there.
No, look, I spent, obviously, Morgan, I guess, took over from me in centre field after I was there for a little while, and I got to spend quite a few years with her. Look, I'm not going to say she's my understudy, but, yeah, look, I spent a lot of time with her. She's great, just an absolute sponge.
This one hit off the end of the bat into right field. Moore looks like she'll have room, and she makes the catch. And a lengthy second inning, it finally comes to an end. 17 come to the plate for Brisbane. They plate 12. Let's go to the home half of the second. It's all Brisbane early on in Game 1, the Australian Women's Baseball Showcase.
Currently, they sponsor the Adelaide United women's team, contracts and leadership program in the AFL. We thank USA Power Networks. Valo is a co-managing partner of the women's team. Valo is an SA-based company that operates a high-tech facility and
Valo is a proud partner of the Australian Women's Baseball Showcase, an Australian tech company that specializes in designing and manufacturing LED lighting and visual displays. Recognized baseball as one of Australia's fastest growing sports, and that's why they're the official lighting partner of Baseball Australia. Valo products carry a 10-year warranty and are built to withstand Australia's extreme weather conditions. Support Aussie made by visiting valo.com.au. Well, there she is, the legend herself, Amy Mccann. We were talking about that spirited career of yours, and there it is. Benno, have a look at that. I think she squashes you, my friend.
That just crushes me. I'm out of here.
Australian Emerald side from 2002 to 2014. As you see, 6 World Cups, 2 medals, that silver in 2010, which we'll talk about, I'm sure, at some point over the next couple of days, and the bronze in 2014. Amy, you certainly were a trailblazer in this sport. That's why we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, I mean, you really are in a position to be in an event like what we're seeing today, and you blazed the trail. You got us to where we are today in many, many ways. You and many of the teammates that you played with for so long.
Yeah, and look, that's the thing. I look around now and I see all these kids, and I feel old, but I feel it's great. We've hit that second generation, as I said before, and there's some girls out there I played with, and I'm just privileged to have had great teammates, and yeah, just that scream aged me there.
It ages everybody, Amy. Welcome to the club. But it's a good club to be with, you know. I mean,
yeah.
What you guys did at the start of this whole generation was set it up for everyone else, and every sport goes through it. you know, whether it be the AFL, whether it be, you know, any sport, swimming, whatever it is, someone has to start it.
Correct.
And you know what? You were that someone, so well done.
Yeah, look, and we have got stories to tell. Training under security lights at stadiums. We obviously paid our way and things like that. And I wouldn't change any second of it. I really wouldn't. It was an amazing period, and the girls are going to get better opportunities moving forward.
Maddie Patrick leading things off, certainly trying to make up for a couple of mistakes over at third base last half inning. It'll be Patrick O'Sullivan, Claire O'Sullivan that is, the younger sister of Elodie, who we've seen hit a few times today. Jess Maslin will hit third in the inning. The payoff pitch to Patrick, good pitch, but it misses low and inside, and there's a leadoff walk. First base runner of the afternoon for Adelaide.
Well done to Adelaide right there. Well done to Patrick. I mean, the discipline to get on base. You know, after a horrific inning that you just had the last half inning, threw all that in the bin. Now it's time to get back to work in the batter's box, so well done.
Well, there's no such thing as a 12-run home run, right? So you got to start somewhere.
You've got to put people on base. Absolutely, get base runners on. You know, the defense is going to play a bit more lax, more up on a generic setup. That can create holes and that can create opportunities.
You talk home runs, and Claire O'Sullivan, she put one out to straightaway centre in BP, and look, she has got one of the biggest sticks here this weekend. So they'll have to chip away slowly, but I think they can do it.
Needs has got some, you know, velocity on this fastball. You can see the difference between Kelly and the Needs on the two starting pitches. And, you know, you look at Needs and that hard breaking ball, everything's just a little bit tighter, a little bit harder. And that's a big difference. And, you know, you're talking probably 6, 7, maybe 8 miles an hour difference on their fastballs.
Yeah, and look, I certainly don't expect Lulu to ease up at all. That 12 run, she will go out there as if it's a 0-all ball game. And, yeah.
No, that's your stats. No. That is not happening. Hey, these girls, you know, play on the same team on Team Australia. They're in the Australian squad,
yep.
You know, or they're playing in their domestic league. At the end of the day, we're playing for their state teams. Right now, they're playing to make Team Australia. And this is what they're trying to do. And I don't care if it's your best friend at the plate. You're trying to get that person out.
Exactly right. Lulu will go hard. She is a competitor.
1-2 to O'Sullivan. This one's lined into left center field. That'll get down for a base hit. It's her older sister, Elodie, that cleans it up.
Yeah, look, Elodie and Claire out there today. I think they're the third set of sisters to play for Australia. Great to see the crowd out here in Adelaide tonight. And as we look there, it was a good pitch. I just think it maybe set up a little bit too much, and you can't leave that for Claire. There's probably, again, another one. Maybe Lulu got away with that one, but 2 runners on. Something brewing here for Adelaide.
But what happens when you make a mistake as a pitcher? You get paid for it. It's no different than what Brisbane did to the Adelaide Giants on the other flip side of the inning.
The first 2 have reached. Here's Jess Maslin, the 6-hole hitting DH for Adelaide. 26-year-old right-handed swinger. One of the 3 South Australian players playing for the Giants this weekend. She takes a called strike on the outer part of the plate. She was on that South Australian team 2 years ago at the Women's Nationals that won the first ever medal for South Australia at a Women's National Championship. As Benno casually pats himself on the back, a proud South Australian.
Oh, hands in the air. Hey, we'll take the wins. You know, proud South Australians, no doubt about it. And, you know, whenever you can win a national championship, you know, you got to celebrate it in every single sport.
Yeah, amazing things over here in South Australia. You've got 20-something teams, and it's a really fledgling league, and it's just so many girls playing baseball. It's fantastic.
0-2, swung on and missed. High heat there from Needs. Just reared back and threw the fastball. Gets your first strikeout, 1 away.
What a great pitch. Faster than fast, higher than high. And if you watch this replay right here, you know, Needs gets it up, let her high, and just can't catch up to it. It's just a great pitcher's pitch.
This is a matchup that I am very excited to watch. We've got 7 World Cups, 6 World Cups, teammates, roommates, best friends. It is...
Sisters playing against each other. Here's Tani Lovering, takes a ball. First that she sees. Speaking of Australian legends, another member of that 2010 World Cup silver winning team that you were on, Amy, in Venezuela. New South Wales native, has been a long-time member of Ride Baseball Club.
Well, if you look at it, Amy, right, you got the starting pitcher, you got the starting catcher. Needs is going to sit there and go, she knows everything I throw. What, where, and when.
Exactly right. I know Tani's probably calling the pitches in her brain right now, so it's it's intriguing.
The 1-1 from Needs. Fastball, and this is high and away, 2 balls and a strike.
If you watch Needs right now, what she's done, her tempo slightly changed. And I think she's actually thinking about this. You know, she got runners on first and second. You know, this is the first trouble she's seen in the first 3 innings here of the game. And right now, she needs to just get back to her rhythm. She had a great rhythm in the first 2 innings.
Big pitch here. Good pitch. Catch the inner edge from Needs. It'll even things at 2-2.
But you can hear the bop. You can hear the pop of the glove, and that's what I love, you know. And you can actually see the difference between, say, Kelly and Needs. You know, that pop of that glove just puts the hitter off just slightly.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on with 1 out here in the second. That's from Needs, and this one's on the ground toward third. What a tricky hop. It gets past Welch. And Tabret will stay put at third base. And Adelaide starting to put something together here in the second as well. They've loaded them up.
Yeah, look, that's great. Great at bat there from Tiny. I think she's one of the most underrated batters. We always talk about her catching, and she's played in New South Wales with some of the biggest hitters in world baseball. But she gets the job done. She's the reason that Australia's been so successful for the last 15 years, and New South Wales.
It was an interesting conversation that the pair of you were having during that AB for Lovering. It wouldn't be in many instances where longtime teammates would play against each other. I mean, obviously, if you go to different teams per se, but with as close as these two have been for so long, it's certainly interesting and an element, I guess, of this showcase. It's an added element to this showcase. Players that have played together for so long, finally getting to see just how tough they are playing against them. As Carly Moore stands in, she takes the first for a called strike and leads set at the belt, the 0-1, and for a called strike, 0-2.
Yeah, I think you're right. Obviously, the squads here have been split up across the 2 teams. You've got sisters playing against each other. You've got New South Wales playing against each other. And I know every single one of them is going to be playing for that name on the front of their jersey. But there's individual stakes on the line, and it's going to be tough, and I love it.
0-2, waved at and missed. Second strikeout of the inning for Needs. Would climb the ladder there, didn't she?
And that's the pitch. That's what got the strikeout previously as well to the Maslin. So, you know, once again, Needs gone higher than high. Nice fastball. Let her high. You're not going to catch up with that pitch. Quality pitcher's pitch.
The strikeouts of both Maslin and now Carly Moore, both on fastballs, both swinging. Now here's the 9-hole hitting Lily Kavanagh. 18-year-old right-handed swinging left fielder who will hit with the bases loaded, 2 outs.
As I said,
peppers the outer part of the plate. Sorry, Amy, nothing in one.
No. As I said before, we've got so many teenagers. I think 11 teenagers, and they're all exciting. But Lily is one of those. She'll be getting dirty in the outfield. She swings a mean bat. She hits that alley. You watch her run.
The 0-1 to Kavanagh, and it's popped up into right center. Who wants it? It's Doty who's over to make the catch. And Lauren Needs, she pitched her way into a jam, but she pitched her way out of it. Adelaide leave them loaded in the second inning. Let's go to the third. It's all Brisbane, 12-0 in Game 1 of the Australian Women's Baseball Showcase.
Bandits 0.
Well, if you travel inland on the Eyre Peninsula into untouched wilderness, you'll find the ancient wind-worn granite boulders, spectacular gorges, seasonal waterfalls, and the stunning Canterbury Sandhills that we're looking at now in Streaky Bay, South Australia. It really is a beautiful state and a beautiful city of Adelaide, gracious hosts of this Australian Women's Baseball Showcase presented by Valo. And We can take this opportunity to remind you that you can help dreams come true by donating to aleagueofourown.com.au. Once again, your donation is 100% tax deductible in Australia, and it'll go toward helping to launch a professional women's baseball league. Again, that's aleagueofourown.com.au. Donate today, and let's make dreams come true. And this truly is the first step, as we talked about a few times earlier today, in a true women's professional league. I know that Japan has had a league for quite some time. Shea Lillywhite was the first Australian to play in that Japanese league, but there really hasn't been a professional women's baseball league in the world aside from Japan, and that's a league that's really hard to break into for foreigners because Japan is world beaters, right? They haven't lost a gold medal in 15 years or something at a World Cup. But this truly is the first step, Amy, in achieving that goal of having a professional women's league here in Australia.
It is indeed, and as we see a new picture out there, Madison Irwin, representative of ACT, takes over. But yeah, look, as you said, I had the privilege to go over and spend a year playing in Japan about 16, 17 years ago, and it was before the professional league, and the numbers, there can't be a coincidence with the success they have at a World Cup with the professional league, and I think that if we could do that, we'd hopefully get back up to the medals there at the World Cup.
And you get a look at Madison Irwin, the new right-hander out of the Australian Capital Territory, just 18 years of age. Her 2-1 pitch to Taylor Welch, missing high, 3 balls and a strike.
Could you imagine being 18 years old, hanging out with the Australian players and called the bullpen right-handed? Let's go, kid, you're in. You know, I mean, the heart will be pounding. Look at the concentration on the face right there. Not intimidated in this position right now. I mean, to come into the game, come in and throw strikes, she's going to do a good job. There's no doubt about it. But what a big moment.
Yeah, look, and Madison's, as you said, she's from ACT, but they don't have a women's team at the moment for the Nationals. So she's a pickup player for WA, so she's from ACT, she's worn the Perth Heat, she's now wearing the Giants. I think she's used to being out there.
So Taylor Welch walks to begin the inning. Here's Abby McClellan now hitting for the third time at that 2-run bomb into right center last time we saw her.
And as you can see, the defense is playing behind the runner, obviously, with the score right now. So, you know, Adelaide's going for a basic defense, trying to get the easy outs.
The 1-0 to McClellan. And a notion to swing. They'll check down to first base. And Carla Pender, the first base umpire, said she did not go around. Now 2 balls and no strikes.
I don't know. I'm a pitcher. I'd call that a strike myself. But, you know, I'm a bit biased. But, you know, I'll take anything for a strike, even if it bounces halfway.
I was about to say, you've never seen a pitch you didn't like. 2-0 missing high and away. And here was last inning. Abby McClellan. Amy, take us through it. This big 2-run bomb.
Yeah, look, 1 out, runner on third, and we see her just drive the ball to the right side, and she's just got such power. She drives that ball to the right side. She drives it out. 2-run bomb there.
Has reached and scored twice so far today, and here another walk, back-to-back walks to begin the inning.
What I liked about that bomb right there we just saw on the replay was the extension of the arms. I mean, that was just an absolutely beautiful swing. You can tell by the follow-through as well, and everything, all the power went to complete right field. She completely committed to that ball going to right field.
Exactly, and I think with Abby, she's spent a lot of time on her hitting, so it's been great to watch her career progression.
Here's Madison Heath for the third time this afternoon. Breaking ball that's in for a called strike.
That's a good slider right there. I mean, that's a hard slider. It's a tough one to hit. You could see how much that broke. That broke a good foot right there and started the hip of the hitter.
Heath singled and scored in the second inning. Also reached on an error and scored what was the 10th of the 12 runs that scored. She came around to score on the home run from Laura Wagner, the 3-run bomb.
Well, Irwin right now has got a chance to put the hitter away with an 0-2 count. Let's see if she goes back to the slider away.
She did indeed. Madison Heath not biting, now a ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, but what a good pitch. That was softer away off the plate. So right now that opens up the inner part of the plate because Brisbane have been committing to hit the ball to right field. So I'd try and go hard in if it was me.
Lovering set up on the outer half of the plate again, it looks. Off speed over the plate. This one deep into left field. Looks like the ballpark will hold it. Kavanagh in to make the catch.
What a great play. I mean, that's tough. That's right in the sun. The sun's setting right in that spot to make the play in left field by Kavanagh. That was a difficult play. As much as it might look easy on TV, that was really difficult to do. I mean, everyone messes up those plays. That can turn into complete disaster.
Yeah, and it's good to see the pop off Madison Heath's bat there. I was sitting behind her when she was hitting inside the cage before, and it was hurting my ears, that pop, and she didn't get all of that, and Kavanagh caught that on the warning track.
Absolutely, that ball travelled a long, long way. It wasn't far, but at the same time, as a pitcher with her, when she went in, that ball was in. It was just in enough to not let the hands extend a little bit more, which would have potentially been a home run.
Looks like Hannah Marshall will pinch it here for Emily Devine, who had reached and scored twice. So Marshall getting an opportunity with 2 on, and right on cue, hammers it into center field. That one sends Heldenay's back, and she makes the catch 2 away. Well, gets the pinch hit opportunity, swings first pitch, and lines it into center.
Hey, if you see your pitch, you go for
That's
it. I mean, that's what you do. If that's what you're trained to do, that's what you should do.
Exactly right. We're not here to see walks. The girls, I love it. I love that aggression from a kid. There's that fear of striking out, but that wasn't there, and I love that. I love it.
So it looks like Marshall will stay in at that DH position. Replace Devine. Here now is Laura Wagner, who hit the second of those 2 home runs. Hers to left center field, that 3-run blast that capped the 12-run inning for Brisbane in the second. Also singled and scored earlier in the second, so she had herself a heck of a second frame. The 0-1, a fastball that misses off the outer part of the plate. And here was that second home run of the inning. This was a big bomb in the left center.
Absolutely got all of it. There's no doubt about it. And you could just see the strength and the extension of the arms. It was spectacular to watch.
Yeah, big swing on the 1-1.
What I'm seeing with Irwin right now, I love it. It's the same delivery almost every single pitch. It's hard to see the ball, whether it's a fastball or a slider out of the hand, and she's given it all. The extension out of the front arm to the plate is exceptional.
1-2, swung hot and missed. It's dropped behind home plate by Lovering, which he'll throw down to get the 3rd out of the inning. And good work by the youngster, Addison Irwin. Gets through the inning unscathed. Let's go to the home half of the 3rd inning. Adelaide, they need some runs, trailing 12-0.
Lily, Carly, grab a helmet.
The off-season is a busy time in the baseball world around the globe. Make sure you tune into all the news on
Well, Amy, we saw your decorated career just earlier. We're trying to get a shot of Shay Lily. Well, there she is. She pops out. She's, as you said off air, she's just, she's height challenged like you and I both are. But how good has she been throughout her career? 21-time Victorian representative. She's been an Australian rep since 2001, 8 World Cups. As he talked about last half inning, played in that JWBL back in 2013. She's been around for quite some time, but she just keeps getting better and better, doesn't she, Shane Lillywhite? She's been so good, due up second this inning.
Yeah, look, she's one of those players you definitely want in your team and not to be against. I've played against her for 20 years in club ball in Melbourne, and she's definitely got the better of us, probably more often than not. So, but no, she's an absolute superstar of world baseball.
Takara Geldenays will lead things off. Lillywhite will hit second in the inning. It'll be 1, 2, and 3 for Adelaide. Geldenays was swinging first pitch back in the home half of the first inning and hit one on a frozen rope to Morgan Doty in center field. This one's tapped into the glove of the catcher. Worth noting that Adelaide are using their power play here in this third inning. Again, teams in this women's baseball showcase, 5-inning games, will have the opportunity to institute a power play offensively in any inning. That's runners with first and second base to begin the frame. Obviously, Adelaide trailing 12-0, deciding that now is the opportunity with the top of the order to put those two runners on base and try and manufacture something.
Yeah, and look, I think an obvious play in this in extra innings tied ball games is the bunt. We're moving over, we're looking to score the runs, but with the scoreline right now, we've got Takara up here swinging the bat, and that's what Adelaide needs, and she swings a good bat too, so hopefully we can see something happen here.
Ball and 2 strikes on the 19-year-old right-handed swinger. Taken just off the plate inside, and essentially what the power play is an extension of the international tiebreak rule in extra innings, Amy, as you mentioned, just giving that opportunity to spice things up and potentially keep these games a little bit closer, but also just experiment with rules and give these managers maybe something else to think about. And in Adelaide's case, they're probably loving the opportunity to have runners at first and second, an opportunity to do something in this inning. As this one's lined into right center field over to get it Doty, and that's the second time that Heldanays has retired her today. Runners will retreat, and there's one away to begin the inning.
Yeah, look, Morgan Doty, I don't know what covers more of the earth, Morgan Doty in centre field or the ocean. So basically, yeah.
Well said.
Look, basically, yeah. Look, in 2010, that was when they first introduced this power play for extra innings at a World Cup. And I remember we were in South Carolina for about 3 weeks, and we trained and trained and trained and trained it. And it was new, and I definitely think it adds. I like this element in the middle of the game. It's different. I like it.
So here is Shea Lillywhite. And obviously the right time for Craig Handy to use it. Not only are they trailing by 12 runs, but he sees the top of his lineup due up. And obviously what better opportunity than to put 2 on and let the top of the order do damage.
Well, the opportunity, really, if you think about it, top of the order, you're expecting your top of the order to knock in these runs. This would be like no different than starting off with the 8 and 9, getting on base. Well, what's your job?
The 1-0 to Shea. She ducked away from the pitch, but a called strike on the inner edge, 1-1.
But how well, we got to go back to needs. I mean, how well is she throwing the ball right now? I mean, it's just strike after strike. If the ball's up, down, in and out, it's off speed, it's hard. You know, the pump on the glove is fantastic, and the delivery is the same nearly every single time.
1-1 off speed, off the outer part of the plate, 2 balls and a strike.
Yeah, I think what we're seeing here from Lulu is just that experience of 10 years of she's one of the hardest workers out there. She's had quite a few injuries, a couple of knee recos and things as well, but she puts more effort into baseball than a lot of them, so it's great to see.
2-1 taken high. It's now 3 balls and a strike. And Ben, we'll have a look at Laura Need's sort of a profile shot in the way that she delivers the baseball.
It's prototypical. I mean, how she comes set every single delivery, you know, the movements are the same, calculated every single time.
Good pitch of 3-1. Boy, dotted the eye, didn't she? Now 3 balls and 2 strikes. Let's take a look at it.
That's pitching perfection. Look at that. Up, over, out of the plate. Hand breaks a glove early and just fantastic delivery to the plate. You know, what she's doing every single time is a difficult thing to do. I mean, you throw 100 pitches or 80 pitches a game, that's a lot of work.
Nice frame from Madison Heath there too.
3-2, that one just got away from her. And it's a 1-out walk. Good AB there by Lillywhite as she jogs down to first base, and the bases are loaded. So now the middle of this Adelaide order can go to work and try and get some of these runs back. Madison Heath's going to walk out for a quick conversation with her starting pitcher.
And look, that's a veteran classy at bat from Shea. I know she wants to keep the lineup moving. She knows they need runs, but she also knows they don't need outs. They need base runners. She knows the lineup after her, and she does a team job there, just keeps that moving.
Well, if you look, you're a second baseman, you're hitting in the 2-hole, and your job is to get on base no matter how you do it, whether you walk, hit by pitch, or get a base hit. No one really cares. Your job is to set the table for the big boppers behind you.
Exactly right.
So here's Borga Maestro, who flied out to right field in her only previous AB back in the first. She takes low for a ball.
Yeah, I watched Needs on that nice vision right there, and what you see, she gets set over that plate. Even when she's breaking the hands, and to deliver the ball. The body weight hasn't moved yet, so that allows her to get a really good downhill plane while she's pitching.
The 1-0. Spoiled away foul. It would got in on the hands. It'll get out of play off toward the right side. And Amy, Laura largely has been a relief pitcher throughout most of her career, at least with the Australian Emeralds, probably some of her better tournaments. She was named reliever of the tournament back in 2010, but she does have that ability to stretch out, as we're seeing this afternoon.
Yeah, look, she's also played shortstop at a World Cup for Australia. She's played in the field too. She's just another one of the girls out there that can do multiple things, and it's great. But yeah, you talk about that World Cup. She was a reliever of that World Cup, and she, as we look at that.
Well, you got to bring your glove to the ballpark, man. He just got out of the way. What are you doing? You don't get many opportunities in this game to catch one of those. What are you doing? I'm enraged by that. 2-1. Well, that one narrowly missed her. Now it got her.
What I'm liking about
Maestro
Adelaide.
hit by the pitch. Sorry, but now that'll score a run.
What I'm liking about Adelaide is they've brought their professional at bats to this inning. There's no doubt about it. They're all going deep into the count. They're making needs work hard. You know, that pitch just gets away from them right there, unfortunately. But you know what? Adelaide have been very disciplined in this power play, Amy.
Yeah, they have. And look, Madison Tabrick, we've seen her at third base. Mixed fortunes for her there tonight. But Madison's someone who, obviously small in stature, but swings a big bat. So I'm looking at the outfielders here. I think Morgan's moved straight away centre. So there we go.
Maddie Patrick takes a fastball high on the first offering. Starting to get the sense that that gas tank for Needs might be on a downward turn. It's the 1-0. It's a good pitch, just as I say that.
How's that?
Back Tabbert up off the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. She doesn't like all that gas tank talk.
You just keep your opinions to yourself there, young man. Look at that. That's a great pitch in on the inner half of the plate. I mean, that's a pitcher's pitch because, as you can see, Brett was trying to look out over the plate. She was cheating a little bit there.
But one spoiled away foul back toward our broadcast position. 1 ball, 2 strikes, rather.
Another great battle here. Two New South Wales. Great tradition there in New South Wales in the last 10 years. Won quite a few nationals, and these guys are no strangers to those gold medals. So it's a great matchup here.
Tabrett walked and was stranded at third base back in the second inning when Adelaide left him loaded. The Giants have plated 1 in the inning. Tabrett trying to add to that. A ball and 2 strikes. The offering on the ground towards shortstop. This could be 2. Gel to Wagner for 1. The turn. Is it in time? No. The stretch from McClellan, not quite enough. 1 run will come home to score, but nearly the inning-ending double play. Instead, it's now a 12-2 ball game, 2 away.
Yeah, look, they get that out there. They'll be happy with that. I think we look at the replay. I think Laura struggled to get out of the glove there, and a great stretch by Abby McClellan, but Maddie can run. Ooh. Is there a replay? Can we?
There's always, you know what, the victim of replay. It's always a way, isn't it? But it was a bang, bang. But you know what?
I saw there. The pair of yours reaction simultaneously sitting next to me just now. I don't think any other words need to be spoken. Runners at the corners with 2 away. Here's Claire O'Sullivan. We'll call her the little sister, but she's anything but. She's a tall, wiry frame, isn't she?
Well, interesting here. Laura's actually been coaching the Sullivan sisters since they were knee-high. So she's actually brought Claire up, and now she's facing her. So it'll be interesting to see how much of Laura's coaching here goes into this at-bat.
Hits just keep on coming for Laura Needs. She's got to face her catcher. She's got to face some of her pupils. Here's a 1-0. Taken off the plate outside, 2 balls and no strikes.
But what a good size athlete though Claire is. I mean, look at her body, her makeup. I mean, I was watching a little bit during BP, and you know, just the size and the power. You can just see it's an untapped potential. There's no doubt about it. And you know, hitting in the middle of the lineup, it's a scary thought when someone like this walks up to the middle of the plate, especially with runners on.
Well, she works in compliance at Westpac too, Benno. So watch out.
Yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head there. I think Claire, we saw her at the 2016 World Cup, 2018 they switched in her sister, and I think that what's scary is we have not seen the best of her, and that is not at no detriment to her. I think that just shows how scary the potential that Claire O'Sullivan has.
Well, I was just going to say, obviously she's played in 2 World Cups, but now just 25 years of age. She hasn't gotten to play in a World Cup in 3 years, right? So she's hitting that prime of her career and yet still hasn't had that opportunity in the prime to play as a member of the Australian Emeralds.
No, look, she actually played 2016. Her sister played 2018, so she's obviously had longer on the sidelines. But I think she's probably gotten better in that time frame.
Here's a 2-1. Skied toward the left side, giving chase as Welch when she ran out of room. That one falls in the bullpen down that left field line.
We see Brisbane's made a defensive change there. We've got Jordan Richardson, who actually was teammates with Claire O'Sullivan in that 2016 World Cup in Korea. So Jordan's another New South Wales. Everywhere I look, it's the New South Wales Blue out there.
It's interesting. For me, when I look at a lot of the taller type athletes, especially the pitchers as well, and the bigger boppers on it, traditionally at first and third base, Amy, is they do sometimes take a little bit longer to develop and hone their skills. And, because they got some untapped power, they don't really realise what they have. And it just takes that bit more maturity to be able to understand what you do and don't have.
Needs trying to limit the damage and get her team back to the dugout. Runner goes from first, and the 3-2 taken high, ball 4. The patient AB there from O'Sullivan, and we're going to get a meeting at the mound for Brisbane. The bases loaded and 2 outs.
Yeah, look, you make a good point around that. I think whenever you've got someone of the stature of an Abby McClellan or a Claire O'Sullivan, there's that pressure. Everyone expects them to put it out every time they get up to bat, and it does. I think Australian women's baseball is looking good. I think that people like Claire and Abby and even Taylor Welch, who we've seen come up over the last 3 or 4 years, really own that spot. I think there's that really untapped potential, and I think the next couple of World Cups we're going to see them explode.
Well, the three of us were talking prior to the start of the broadcast. Jason Pospisil, who's the newly named manager, you could say newly named manager. He's been the manager of the Australian Emeralds for over a year, but he's just talking about the frustration. He knows how many good players he has. He just doesn't know when he's going to be able to get them together and take them overseas to play a World Cup. That's the frustrating thing for this team right now. Yeah,
and I think it sums it up when we see Jason going down. He's meeting a lot of these players for the first time.
Yeah.
They haven't been together since October 2019.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So, yeah.
So here's Jess Maslin with the bases loaded, swinging first pitch up the middle. Great play at shortstop, but the throw gets away. Bronwyn Gell did everything right to glove it, but the throw was not on the money. It'll score a run. Lily White from third. And now 3 have crossed the plate for Adelaide here in the 3rd inning, and they keep things rolling.
Yeah, but what you'll find, that's a hard-hit ball up the middle. I mean, it's really well hit. And Bronwyn's tried to make the play. And as you can see, her body motion still moving away from the base. That is a really difficult play. And she's turned to the left, turned to the right instead of spinning around the other way, going with the motion of the body, and that may have been her downfall.
Bronwyn's got amazing range left and right there. I think maybe Laura thought she was going to 1, or just that speed of that throw. Look, Bronwyn's got amazing skills. 360.
This is interesting right now because of the power play. The inning's still going. It's generating runs.
Here again is Tani Lovering. Laura needs Australian Emeralds catcher, and they will give an error on Bronwyn Gell. There's a lot of shortstops who probably don't even get to that baseball, so.
Oh, it was a great play.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if they'd give that a base hit or not, but it did officially go as an error on the Brisbane shortstop.
Well, all I can say, if I'm standing on the mound and I see that hard hit ball up the middle, I'm expecting it to be a base hit anyway. So I was, the fact that, Bronwyn actually got the ball and kept the ball in the infield and stopped probably a couple more runs being scored, it's a positive for me.
Tani Singleton was stranded at first base back in the 2nd inning, so 1 for 1 this afternoon. The 1-1 pitch hit toward the right side. Will it stay fair? It's slicing, and it is. It'll score at least 2. Tabbert is in. Here comes O'Sullivan. She will score, and it's a 2 RBI double. A ground rule type as it bounced over that fence down the right field line. And all of a sudden, here come the Giants. A 5 spot, doing a lot of it with 2 outs here in the 3rd.
Exactly right. We saw Shea get that walk to load the bases, and they've kept it moving there. And Tani, as I said, you underestimate her. As we see by the replay here, a hard shot. If you're hitting the ball that hard to the right side, it shows that you are in form. And I think we're going to see that more over the next 3 games.
Yeah, the discipline hitting right there to go the ball to right field like Brisbane were doing on the 2nd inning. Adelaide have replicated that and put a 5 spot on the board.
Don't call it a comeback. Adelaide's been here all day. It's 12-5. In all 12 of Brisbane's runs coming in the 2nd inning, and now all 5 of Adelaide's have been plated here in the 3rd. Get another look at this. Boy, this is a tough gig being a catcher, isn't it? Oh.
Yeah, that one right in the mask. That knocked your senses right there. You're welcome to Adelaide. You're definitely playing in the Women's Showcase. If you haven't woken up, you have woken up now. There's no doubt about that. So, but let's go back to what Need's been doing. Even with the power play on, which is really difficult for the pitcher, starting off with runs on first and second with none out, to be able to just keep throwing strikes has been impressive.
Nothing in one to Geldenez. Swung out and missed. Now no balls and 2 strikes. She's lined out to center and also flied out to center. Morgan Doty has had her number. One-two pitch is called, third strike. It was Carly Moore. My apologies. I got stumped up by the power play. She was the 8th hitter of the inning, and she strikes out to end the third. We'll go to the 4th inning, but the Giants, they've played at 5. We've got ourselves a ball game here at Adelaide. Well, the event capital of South Australia, Adelaide, there's always something on. The Adelaide Food Festival on currently, but a live music opportunities, certainly great food, great entertainment. It's a great place to be, and they are gracious hosts, as we have said, of this Australian Women's Baseball Showcase, as it looks like we will have a pitching change for the Adelaide Giants. Or no, it looks like Brisbane, rather, will take the opportunity to play their power play. Say, anything you can do, I can do better. They said, you take 5 from us, we'll put 2 on to begin the inning.
The strategy. But, Amy, you got to see the strategy when you were playing. And, as a player, what did it make you think? And what was what were you talking about as a team when you were trying to learn this strategy?
Yeah, look, I think when they introduced it in 2010, it wasn't the final out and the 2 previous hitters. It was actually anywhere in your lineup. So, as I said, we spent a lot of time rehearsing that play. It just makes you think, and it's very obvious to bunt and move them over. But as I said, I think it's going to generate runs when used in a situation like this.
So Hannah Marshall and Laura Wagner will be the 2 on base. It's Madison Patrick that leads things off here.
I'm interested to see right here, Rosie and Amy, what a young Irwin's going to do in this inning. Is she going to back it up with another one, another 0? That's what we're looking for.
I tell you, Madison's the first time I've seen Madison in the flesh, and she's impressing me. She's come out here. She hasn't even thought of the scoreboard. She hasn't thought about who's catching, who's on the other lineup. She hasn't looked at names. She's doing her job, and it's impressive.
Nothing at 2. This one's hit hard into center field. That'll send Heldenhouse back, and she's there to make the catch. She's got some pop off of her bat, doesn't she? Young Madison Patrick, unfortunately, just hit it right at the center fielder, one away.
She does indeed, as I said, not on the Aussie squad, but she's doing everything to put a name up here, and that's what this is all about here today. This weekend, I'm sorry.
The one away here is Bronwyn Gell. Ronnie hitting for the 3rd time this afternoon. Singled and scored, and also had an infield base hit. Was stranded at second base as part of that 12-run second inning for Brisbane. Off-speed pitch that got away from Irwin on the first offering, 1-0.
But what I'm liking that with Irwin, even though that was a ball, who cares, right? But what I like about it is the conviction throwing the ball to home plate. Everything from the body's going to home plate. She's giving it all every single pitch.
The thing I like about it, we talk about presence. We talk about presence on the mound. She looks like one of the veterans out there. If people are looking, which is the Australian squad, you'd be looking at her. She's holding her own out there.
She really is. She's presenting well. She's her conviction on the mound, and that's the one thing I like to see is conviction of the pitch, and that's what sells. You can throw a breaking ball that may not break too much, and it might just spin, but it's how you sell it to the hitter sometimes. I mean, as a hitter, if I'm throwing a pitch, as long as I'm giving it my all, it just may get you off timing.
Exactly right. It's all about that timing.
2-0. This one is high and tight. Now 3 balls and no strikes with Morgan Doty, the leadoff hitter, waiting on deck for Brisbane.
See, Adelaide right now, the first out of the inning, even with runners on first and second with the power play for Brisbane, she's a ground ball double play, and she's out of this inning.
Get me over pitch on 3-0. Well located. Now 3 balls and a strike. Does have electric stuff, doesn't she? I mean, we talked about the inexperience that she has, obviously at an international level, only being 18 years of age and playing in the ACT. Certainly has good stuff for a youngster. 3-1. We're missing just low and away, so a one-out walk issued to Bronwyn Gell, and that'll load him up for Morgan Doty.
It'd be interesting, Amy, here to see what Adelaide does on a defensive standpoint. Technically speaking, you've got bases loaded. Will they keep the middle infielders back? Will they play the first and thirds in, the corners in? And how deep are they going to play the outfield? So the coaches can strategize everything for different scenarios of different games during different tournaments.
It's the 4th time that we've seen Doty this afternoon. Everything just leaving the hand a little bit early, it looks like, for Irwin Beno. Everything's missing up and up.
It is. She's the adrenaline's pumping right now. Sometimes you just need to take a bit of a deep breath, but I love it. You know what? The effort's definitely there.
Good 1-0 pitch. Doesn't get the call from Fiona Lambrick, the home plate umpire. 2 balls and no strikes.
You can see the disappointment in her face not getting that call for a strike, because that was a pitcher's pitch right there. I want that every single day.
She's a gamer, that's for sure.
And 2-0 upstairs again. Now 3 balls and no strikes with Elodie O'Sullivan on deck.
But sometimes what happens is when you miss a little bit up and up all the time, and then all of a sudden you paint that pitch on the black, the umpire sometimes has a tendency to think it's down because the ball's been up, and then all of a sudden you nail that black and they go ball. And that's the adjustment of the eyeballs, even for an umpire, as opposed for a hitter.
3-0, missing low and away, ball 4. That'll walk in a run as Hannah Marshall will come into cross home plate, and it's now a 13-5 Brisbane lead.
This will see now, Amy, what we think about young Irwin's going to do. As a young 18-year-old pitcher, she's had a couple of walks now. Now's the time to settle down.
Yeah, look, we see I think exactly what is going through the mind of the pitching coach right now is going out there and have a bit of a chat. As will Tani Lovering. She's could not be better for anyone out there getting advice from Tani out there. Just seeing that, she would have seen she'd started on top.
As you can see, Tani right there just showing her that you're just you're dropping away, you're dropping your head to your left and your arms dropping down. Great advice right there from Tani and the catcher. That's what you need as a young player. Sometimes you just hey, sometimes I used to get told a joke on the mound and just to make me think about other stuff. Yeah,
look, Tani, she knows the significance right now, but she also knows the opportunity, and that you could see there Tani was giving us some advice, but she put a smile on her face, and that's one of the things Tani will always do.
Pitching coach for Adelaide is a young man that many Adelaide baseball fans will recognize, Jack O'Loughlin, who pitched for the then Adelaide Bites several years ago. Doesn't transitioned into minor league baseball over in the United States, but obviously with COVID, still being a very young man, has not made his way back to the U.S. yet, so he is assisting Craig Handy as the pitching coach for this Adelaide Giants Women's Showcase team. Third AB of the afternoon for Elodie O'Sullivan. She takes low. Elodie's had a busy day. He's grounded out at a ground rule double and scored. Also stole a base. Hard hit ball to fly out to right field. She was the third and final out in that lengthy second inning.
Big pitch right here for Irwin right now. She needs to come back with a strike. Even if it gives up some runs, she needs to allow the hitter to put the ball in play.
Good pitch on 2-0.
That's a massive pitch. I mean, for an 18-year-old with bases loaded, a couple of walks, just an inning already, to go 2-0 and come back with a fastball strike there, that's huge. That's a big power-boosting confidence one right there.
And big difference between 3-0 with the bases loaded and 2 balls and a strike. But you do it again. 2-1, got plenty of the plate, skied into right field. Charlie Moore over toward the foul line makes the catch. Wagner is tagging from third base. The throw comes into second. Rather, first base, it looked like. And a run will come home to score, but hey, she got the job done. She gets the out on the fly ball to right field. And those are the sorts of things you're talking about. Get results. The bases are loaded with less than 2 outs.
Well, let's face it, in a power play, I mean, you're expected to give up some runs. I mean, to not give up a run with first and second with none out, it's really difficult to do. So to battle back after a couple walks and then get that fly ball out, that's massive.
Yeah, exchanging out for a run there anytime.
2 away, 2 have crossed. Here is Taylor Welch, who is still looking for her first base hit of the afternoon. She takes off the plate outside. It looks like we'll have a pinch hitter, rather, as Jordan Richardson will entered last half inning, I should say. She was playing over at third base. So Welch's afternoon, at least game 1, has come to a close. And here's a grounder to Tabrett. She knocks it down. Does she have time? A strong throw, but it's not in time. With the runner turned at first base, and now we've got a rundown. And what stick-to-itiveness by Claire O'Sullivan. As Jordan Richardson rounded first base, I think she thought the ball got through.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not sure what just happened.
I've ever seen that.
No, I was just saying the same thing to myself. I'm not sure I know how to comment on that. I've never seen it before. But look, a good out there for Adelaide. They get to come back up.
Yeah, we'll take another look at it when we get back. We will head to the home half of the 4th inning. It's still all Brisbane here in Adelaide. Well, there's been plenty of action so far this afternoon as you get a look at the line score. 15-5, our score, 15 runs on 12 hits to this point for Brisbane. And here was that play at the end of the inning. Now take us through it.
Yeah, as you can see here, what a great play. But it gets away from Tony right there, but makes a strong throw to first. And as you can see, that whether the hitter thought the ball got past because of the error has turned in. Right now, one of the weirdest plays you'll see, but
there's a base hit into center field to begin the inning for Adelaide as we play in the home half of the 4th inning. And we were all just kind of looking at each other going, I don't know that I've ever seen that before. She thought the ball had gotten through. Tabrett knocked it down, so it wasn't gloved cleanly. I think she probably saw that the ball was knocked down and said, okay, well, maybe that's going to get through. I'm going to go to second base. And it was almost bang-bang at first.
And I think it was bang-bang in her brain, too. I think that's a decision by the runner there.
But that's a treat. The lesson learned on that one is pick up your first base coach.
Exactly right.
Takara Geldenez hitting for the 3rd time. And worth noting that an inning will not begin past 5:45 local time. Expecting a really good crowd for Game 2 tonight, so wanting to make sure that that game starts on time. An inning here in Game 1 will not start past the hour 45 mark, so depending on how lengthy this home half of the fourth is. This could be the final inning of game number 1. Adelaide would be hoping they can just push 11 and across and say, let's take a win in game 1. This ball is crushed deep into left center field. Heldenays, has she gone deep? Boom! Deep into left field. A 2-run bomb, and don't count them out of it just yet. It's 15-7.
That's what I'm talking about. That's unbelievable. The extension on the arms on Heldenays was unbelievable, Amy.
You know what? The scouting report coming in here, she's the most athletic. She is the quickest runner. We talked about how we wanted to see her on the base path, and then she goes and puts it out, and she gets the trot around the bases. I mean,
what a great piece of hitting. Look at this pitch, up and away, and absolutely extended the arms and took the ball to deep left, and it was an absolute no-doubter.
I don't want to speak out of turn here, but there'd be some of the older, experienced Emerald players that'd be looking over their shoulder based on what we've seen in the last hour and a half. Sheldon's only 19 years of age. I tell you what, if I'm a 28, 29-year-old stalwart of that Emeralds team, I'm looking over my shoulder a little bit to make sure I'm safe. We've seen some really good young talent this afternoon.
I'm just glad I retired when I did.
Here's Shea Lillywhite. Speaking of, and Lillywhite, she gets into one deep into left center field. A leaping attempt by Doty, but she can't make the catch. Shea's on her way to second base. A wide turn, and boy, she thought better of it, didn't she? Headed back to first. She was halfway to second base before she rethought it. It'll be a long single for Shea Lillywhite, and it's all smiles at the first base back.
No, there's two things I like about that play. I love Morgan Doty. You saw her take that ball into right centre, and we see that in left centre. And if you get it past her, you know you're doing well. But that aggressive base running, and the base running for women's baseball across all levels is something you want to see improve. I love that from Shea.
So the first two, make it first three of the inning have reached. The 2-run bomb by Geldenace. Here's Kayla Borga Maestro, who is flied out and has also been hit by a pitch.
It's Bree Jones.
We've got a new pitcher in for Brisbane is Bree Jones. This one gets away from Madison Heath. That'll allow Shea Lillywhite to advance to second base with ease. So Laura Needs' afternoon has come to a close. She was really good through 2 innings and really just got stitched up in the third by the power play. I mean, that's the idea behind it, right? A team having the ability to surmount instant pressure in an inning, and it got to Laura Needs and the Brisbane defense in that third inning. But all in all, she was very good starting today. This is a base hit in the left field. Shea Lillywhite will stop at third base. Tell you what, these Adelaide bats are coming alive late, aren't they?
Look, the thing I love about that power play too is the most important situations in baseball is when you've got a runner on. So we've got these situations and they need to execute. They're the big moments in the World Cups and things like that. So I love that they're getting this.
Yeah, as you can see right there, great piece of hitting, stayed right back on the off-speed pitch and just waited and had a hard ground ball through shortstop, through the 6-hole there. I mean, Adelaide bats have come alive, there's no doubt about it. Young Jones has got a tough job right here, Amy. She's got to get on the mound. She's got to get some outs. Forget about the runs. She's got enough lead. She just needs 1 out at a time.
So here's Maddie Patrick, who takes inside. Final line on Laura Needs, 3 innings, 65 total pitches, 3 runs. None of those were earned. 3 strikeouts and 3 walks.
I'll take that.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, if you think about it, when you have to deal with the power play, I mean, your pitching mentality does change a bit because you worry about those runners on base. So her line and her ability to throw the same quality pitch time after time again was very impressive.
It was indeed.
It's the 1-0 into Brett. Another good block behind home plate there from Heath.
You know the other thing I'm seeing today? The smiles. You know, even on Need's face, you know, just cheeky grins and, you know, everyone's having some fun out there. It's just beautiful to see.
It's beautiful to see women's baseball back on the park.
Absolutely.
2-0 to Brett, swinging 2-0 and an RBI base hit to boot. Lillywhite can walk in from third base, and it's now a 3-run frame and 8 total on the board for Adelaide. Boy, don't count them out of it just yet.
I tell you what, Brett, she'll need an ice bath after this. I mean, the first 4 plays, I think, of the game went straight to her. She's had a bit of a mishap with 1 error, but that's about it. Offensively, she's done extremely well. Plus the last out of the other inning, I mean, where she's been, the ball's been, basically.
Oh, exactly right. She's been a ball magnet. And look, as we've seen with Maddie, she's an experienced player. She loves being in. She loves to compete. And she'll be upset. She knows that she should have done better on some of those plays, but she doesn't dwell on it. And that's what I love. Some of those experienced players, they'll make an error. They know they've done that, but they're going to put it in the back pocket and they're going to move on. It's a new play.
It's going to be interesting right now. Bree Jones, she needs to get some outs. And that's what her whole focus got to be. Forget about the runners on base. Think it's a 0-0 ball game. First batter you're facing right now. That's the mentality that she needs to adopt.
5 have come to the plate here in the 4th inning. They've all reached. And now Bree Jones faces the tough task of retiring Claire O'Sullivan, something Lauren Eads could not do today. First to her, missing off the plate on an off-speed pitch.
Yeah, the key's going to be getting ahead early, throwing that fastball for a strike, throwing the breaking ball first pitch or second pitch for a strike, and don't be afraid of contact. Welcome the contact because you might get a nice easy line drive out, get those easy outs or get a tough out.
To Brett aboard at first, Borga Maestro at second, the 1-0, low again. 2 balls and no strikes.
And we know Bree Donlan, as she was back then, she's got the talent. She won the Golden Arm at the Nationals in 2018, so we know she's got it. It's bright lights, big city. She might be maybe a bit intimidated out here today, but we'll just see her warm into this game, hopefully.
See if O'Sullivan swinging 2-0. She is. Gets it foul. Was looking to put one down the line and score a couple.
Adelaide are having some great swings against Jones tonight right now. Adelaide's bats have definitely come alive, and there's a lot of hard hit balls, which means Adelaide's right on it. And the difference in the velocity for me of the pitching between Needs and now Jones is obviously helping Adelaide with their at-bats.
Yep.
And again, just worth noting, now that we have moved past that hour 45 mark, this 4th inning will be the final inning of Game 1. You have to think that's been relayed to this Adelaide dugout. That's why you're seeing the urgency. This could be 2. A bouncing ball to third. Richardson, the strong throw across, but the ball gets away. It pulled the first baseman off the bag. Brett will advance down to third base. It'll be runners at the corners with 1 away. If nothing else, Brisbane finally got that first out, that elusive first out here in the 4th.
Look, that's a great play by Jordan Richardson there. She's made the right choice to go to third base, and she's got a sensationally strong arm going across, and she's just slightly down the line there. And it was a great effort by Abby McClellan to make the tag, and just ball gets loose. It's tough over there at first base.
What I did like, though, is the base running from Debris right there. Saw the play was a bit tough, and then took the advantage and went to third base. Heads up base playing to keep the runner at scoring position.
Maslin now with the task of driving her in. Ball got away. It's a pretty easy advance for O'Sullivan.
And again, underestimate. You don't look at Claire. You don't think she's going to run. She'll punish you. You put that ball in the dirt, she'll punish you every time. We've got 2 runners now. Another opportunity for Adelaide.
This thing certainly is not out of reach. Remember, Brisbane scored 12 times in the 2nd inning. Adelaide, as Benno mentioned, taking some really good swings here in the 4th. It was fouled away off toward the third base side.
The funny thing is right now, I mean, the worst thing Adelaide could do is actually hit a home run. You actually want more base hits because the home run can clear the slate and start from fresh. So you actually want the pressure with the base runners on base.
Exactly right.
This one popped up on the infield. Jones taking it herself. Seen that a couple of times today, haven't we? Pitcher saying, "It's mine." Jones makes the catch this time, and there's 2 away.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, as soon as you throw that pitch, you're a fielder. You're a part of the defense. You got to make your own plays, and that's what Bree was able to do. Get that second out. And as we said, the good things happen when you allow contact, and right there, that showed us.
Tani Lovering coming up. You're 2 down here, and I think this is a good opportunity to keep it going for Adelaide.
So here's Tani Lovering. Good off-speed pitch there from Jones, but just misses low. Not afraid to throw an off-speed pitch in the first offering, is she?
No, it seems to be a bit of a consistent pattern for Bree Jones right here. It's always been that breaking ball first pitch, so if you're ever playing against her in club ball, if that was the case, I know I'll be sitting on.
1-0 spoiled away foul on the ground toward third base.
Tendency's the same no matter where you play. You can't help yourself, deadly. Anyone in Australia who's playing against her on a weekend, top that and have a sit on that breaking ball first pitch. But
Tani is singled. She's also had a ground rule double today. She's yet to score a run. It's the 1-1 pitch. Just missing.
have a look at that at bat right there. That was impressive, right? What Tani did, she sat there and that ball sailed in and didn't even flinch. She was looking for a certain pitch in a certain spot to drive that ball.
Australian catcher for so many years. Silver medalist back in 2010. Back up the middle. That'll get through. It should score a couple. It'll definitely score one. No sense in getting the final out of the ball game at home plate, so they will hold up O'Sullivan at third. And it's now a 15-9 ball game.
And that's what we're talking about, the pitch at bat, Amy. You could see the discipline at the plate right there, and she held strong again and stayed true to the pitch she was specifically looking for.
Yeah, look, as we see it in the replay here, just waits. She waits back, and she doesn't do too much with it. She knows that a ball up the middle is potentially going to score two. And look, she's had that at bat probably dozens of times in her career, and she's just fed off that experience there.
Carly Moore, the ninth hitter of the inning. She goes the opposite way into right field. Maddie Patrick is there to make the catch. And that'll do it. The Brisbane Bandits, on the back of a 12-run second inning, are able to hang on despite a late rally from the Adelaide Giants, and they take game one of the Australian Women's Baseball Showcase. Amy, we saw really good pitching in the first, well, 2 half innings, I should say, and then those bats really came alive for Brisbane. That was obviously the difference here in game one.
Yeah, it was. As we touched on earlier, I think Brisbane, they showed no signs of that delay at the airport, and they came out swinging, and it was a really good job by them. No discredit to Abby Kelly. There was a couple of miscues in the field, and that's all it takes. At this level, you can't give them a sniff, because if you take a sniff, suddenly you've got a 12 spot. And it was good to see that fight back from LA. Really good signs for the other games.
And Benno, you said it during the broadcast. This is essentially like tournament baseball. You've got to wipe that one away if you're Adelaide, come back in 45 minutes to an hour. Play game two. If you win tonight, you're 1-1 going into tomorrow.
It's interesting now because both teams used 3 pitches, so which we weren't maybe expecting because Need was on that. Need was throwing the ball so well for Brisbane, but right now it's forget about game one for Adelaide and let's go out and hit them on game two. Brisbane now need to recap and go, let's keep the momentum going.
Well, obviously, the 2 big home runs from Brisbane, the difference in the game. Take us through that second inning. This is really when they blew things out.
Yeah, right here. I mean, what a beautiful piece of swinging right here. I mean, pitched down and away and went with the pitch. The swing was pitch perfect. It was unbelievable. It was absolutely perfect. And then there's the second big bop of the inning as well. And, you know, once again, the full extension of the arms, the home runs. Brisbane really blew it over with some power hitting. But what they did, Amy, was they took the ball where the ball was, and their offense was not afraid to go to right field.
Exactly right. They weren't looking at trying to hit a home run. They were looking at trying to move the runners across the bases and keep that line moving, keep that score ticking over, and they did it great. There wasn't anyone trying to overextend themselves today, and we would have expected that given the situation and being here at the showcase and being on the sidelines for so long.
15 runs on 12 hits and 2 errors for Brisbane in a winning effort. Again, those 12 runs in the second inning, the 2 home runs that we just saw, the 2-run bomb from McClellan and the 3-run homer from Laura Wagner. 9 runs, 9 hits, and 3 errors for Adelaide, but perhaps something to take into game 2 with, you know, the offense sort of turning on in those 3rd and 4th innings. We'll be back in about 45 minutes time for game number 2 of the Australian Women's Baseball Showcase. But until then, for Shane Bennett and Amy Mccann, my name's Andrew Reynolds saying thanks so much for your company. We'll see you right back here in Adelaide shortly for game 2 of the Australian Women's Baseball Showcase, presented by Valo.